baby. Raising hell today, okay?
Bring the juice today, brother. Let's get it.
You're going to be standing right next to me, man?
Welcome to Up the Gut,
Let's go, boy.
the Matt Ayler's of football podcast. Because that is our name.
Take off, kid.
Run.
Far side of the 10. Step back to the 5. Head for the end zone. What a play.
Derrick Henry was on my team, so I'm going to go Texans, I guess.
Yeah, he's on Tennessee, though.
Oh.
You tried. You went for it. I appreciate it. This is Up the Gut, live.
100%.
100%. We are live, and this is Up the Gut, live. As always, I'm Patrick, here, bald, for you every week to talk football, even when there is no football. And as always with me, we have Matthew F. Ahlers. What's up, Matt?
Hey! No, it's not
Whoa,
focusing.
you just killed your focus.
I did. It is dead. Hold
Well,
on. I'll play for a bit.
you're in the witness protection program. That's what it is.
I think my camera's
Whoa.
drunk.
There. Oh, there it is. I see you now. You're good. Oh, you were good.
Come on, camera. We practice this bit every week.
I think did you touch it? There you go. All right. Well, we are going to have a not very exciting week of football because there is no football. Anything going on with you, man? Anything big?
Just working, trying to stay out of trouble. Happy that all of our negative below zero temperatures are done.
Yeah, it was almost 70 degrees here today.
We topped out in the 50s today.
See, that's something. Well, we've got just an average show for you, just the off-season usual, but we should make it exciting. I think we're going to do the not so breaking off-season news because we are a once-a-week show, so we don't get to break any news. Even though we could probably say breaking news, Golden Tate has been released from the New York Giants because that just happened.
Is that all it takes to be breaking? Is that it's just happening, or does it have to be happening and super important? Because I think
I think it just if you're breaking news, it's just news that is breaking at that time. It's time sensitive.
Okay,
not necessarily major.
Because I don't think a lot of people are going to be missing Golden Tate.
I think a lot of people thought he was already out of the league.
Yeah.
So we'll do some not so breaking off season news. Oh man, big exciting things this week. We have a new official quarterback. Polls have closed. It is official. We have a new official quarterback, so I'm pretty excited about that one.
And we got to cover a little bit of a sad subject today.
We do, and I don't want to get into it. And it's going to play a double segment on our show because it's also probably going to make a flip that appearance.
Oh, it has to.
Ooh. And then we are also going to rate some stuff like Up the Gut does. We're going to rate
because Ogre got super bored last time when we did all 32 of the coaches. We decided to cut the list down to 10 this time because we listen.
Well, I was thinking that maybe since, most teams average about 3 wide receivers, we should do the top 96 wide receivers. I think Chad would be okay with that one, don't you think?
Chad almost left us just over 32 coaches. Talk about 96 receivers. He'd probably never come back.
Okay, well, we'll do the top 10 wide receivers then. I think we'll be pretty close, but I'm really looking forward to that. Just see where we rate on that. Of course, like I said, we'll do some flip and flip. But I don't think we can really do any of this without bringing in, our contributor, the man that we just aren't the same without. So let's bring in Chad Ogre Smith. If you ever get to the point where you're not on the show anymore, I'm going to have to reuse that intro for somebody. What's up, Chad?
What's up, fellas? What's going on?
Just enjoying a multitude of drinks. Do you guys want to play guess how many different drinks I have today?
Bourbon, probably a mojito.
Bourbon?
Whiskey sour, probably. A bourbon straight. Maybe
old fashioned. So I got the old fashioned.
Okay.
I do have the Bradshaw bourbon. And I have Breckenridge Vanilla Porter.
I was right. It was 3.
Mm-hmm. You got anything?
I have one. It's a Dr. Pepper.
There you go. That's 23 flavors of fun right there.
Yeah, it is. Is it a cola?
Chad, you rocking any drinks?
Man, I've got some good bourbon in my truck. I'm bringing back.
Your truck.
Bootlegging from Springfield to Jeff City. But tonight, as I got in from running a bunch of inspections, my goal is to drink a gallon of water. I actually hit the fitness center up here. Been here for, 6-7 months and never walked inside it because I just seen a treadmill and like an incumbent bike. Walked in the other day, man, just to say, you ought to at least walk in there.
Yeah.
Man, they got freaking dumbbells up to 50 pounds. I mean, not much of a workout, but 50-pound dumbbells in a hotel. I was pretty stoked, man. So
yeah, 50-pound dumbbells. Easy.
Did a bunch of chest presses a little bit ago, and I'm working on drinking a gallon of water. So it's that time, man. Springtime is the off season. Time to shed some of that winter coat. Get back into shape.
I can totally curl 50 pounds. Patrick, you?
Yeah. I could at least do at least 50% of that.
Yeah.
No, I also actually do the same thing. I hit the treadmill this morning, so I don't have any 50-pound dumbbells, though. I need to get some.
Yeah.
So I guess we ought to just start the show off right and get into that not-so-breaking off-season news.
I appreciate you.
Not so breaking off-season news.
Sorry about that, Chad. Once I click it, it goes.
Me. I was just going to say, I appreciate you guys keeping the wide receiver list down to the top 10.
You did 196?
Yeah,
that's true. I don't know if Matt knows this, but I did put in some honorable mentions because there's just some names I couldn't not mention. I don't think they're top 10, but I just couldn't leave them without getting some recognition.
I didn't write down any honorable mentions, but I'm pretty sure I can think of a couple when we get to that point.
All right. Well, in the not-so-breaking off-season news,
we have an end watch.
The what watch?
Yes.
What are we watching?
JJ. He's finally found a home, and it wasn't where we expected.
It's where nobody expected. Even he was like, listen, it's like Cleveland, Pittsburgh, and Buffalo. And then he's like, I'm in Arizona.
Yeah. JJ
but,
was the Cardinal for the next 2 years.
Listening to, what is it, 32 million, 23 guaranteed? I mean, he got him a little bit of money because I'm sure JJ Watt needed it.
Well, the scariest part is he's on the same defensive line now, or then in the same defense is Chandler Jones, who's also a pass rushing monster.
Oh, he is. And that's going to make him pretty dangerous. But, we'll get into it more as we go on in the show. But, he said he wanted to go to a winning team. I mean, technically, I think they had a winning record, but they didn't even make the playoffs. Is he enough that he makes them that top-notch team? I mean, they're going to talk like it, but at his age, at his injury proneness.
Yeah. Well, he played every game last season, so that's a step in the right direction.
And Deshaun Watson was one of the highest, one of the highest passing yards amount in the NFL, and they were horrible.
Yeah.
So if JJ Watt's that piece, why didn't he do it in Houston last year?
Well, because Houston's a terrible organization. I'll say
they are. But he, that's the thing. If he wanted to win a ring like he said he did, I don't necessarily think he picked the right team. But if he wanted a defensive scheme that he's Chad was just dropping bombs behind me. Anyway, but if he wanted a defensive scheme that he's comfortable with because he's worked with the coach before, if he wanted warm weather, if he wanted a dome, he got all that. And I can't blame the man. I mean, I like Kyler Murray. I like little Smokies running around out there. I like DeAndre Hopkins. I like Chandler Jones. I guess they are losing Patrick Peterson out there, but I like the team. I do like Arizona. But as far as going to the Super Bowl, I don't think so. When it comes to the NFC, I mean, with Green Bay out there, I mean, technically, I guess Tampa Bay is still a consideration. There's just teams, Seattle, that I still put over them. So
yeah.
I think they're moving in the right direction. I think Kyler Murray with another year under his belt, I think in the draft is going to be big for them. I mean, you gotta, if you're going to contend, man, it all starts in the trenches in my books, man. You got to have an O-line, you got to have a D-line. I mean, they've got the best wide receiver in football.
Is it?
At least a top 3. And Kyler Murray, man, I think he's I don't know, he's shown me enough that I'm on board. I think he could be good. I really do.
Well, I'm on record saying that Kyler Murray is everything that people want Lamar Jackson to be. I think he is.
Yeah.
He can run, and he's a talented quarterback, and he's bite-sized. Anyway, but it's kind of funny, though, that we talk about J.J. Watt going there because that puts him in the same division as Russell Wilson twice a year. And what's Russell Wilson complaining about? Getting hit too much. So Russell Wilson came out this year, in the last week or so, said that he wants to stay in Seattle. But if you guys want to trade me, here's 4 teams I'll go to: Cowboys, Saints, Bears, or Raiders.
I think it's a good chance for – I mean, obviously, if you're Seattle, I think just like we talked the other day, I think you got to sit down with him. You got to say, look, where's your head at? And he's got to come out and he's got to say, well, you've got me the wide receiver,
A couple of them.
Yeah.
Lockett and Metcalf.
I think at this point, you got to – I don't know what they really need. I mean, I think their defense is –
They need no line.
Offensive line.
Yeah. Well, you don't just develop a kid right out of college to be a stud offensive lineman typically. I mean, it takes a few years for these offensive linemen to come out of college to be really good, I feel. But find out where his head's at, man. Russell Wilson, I mean, if they could trade him, just think what they get on a trade. It's a rebuild. I don't know. I would try to hold on to the guy. Patrick knows where I am with Russell Wilson. He's a gamer, dude. He's a gamer. Yeah. And
at least for half the season.
He works out. I think he's one of the guys that works out harder. I think he devotes time to the game more than a lot of others. I don't know.
Yeah, absolutely.
But I'll be honest, man. I got nothing against Dallas doing good. I would so hope. I don't want to see them be good for like 5 years straight or some crap, because then we got to listen to a bunch of fans that are just.
If they're good for 1 year, you're going to listen to it for the next 20.
I would like to see Russell Wilson go to the Cowboys, push Dak Prescott into a different area. I mean, Russell Wilson's got what, 4 more years, five more years probably.
I don't know.
Russell?
Quarterback can play longer and longer now, and he hasn't.
No, he could. He might have another 10 in him.
Yeah, and he hasn't missed the game yet.
Not if he keeps getting hit that much.
Well, the way he's been getting hit, he don't.
Yeah, no. If you can protect him, you can get another 10 years out of Russell Wilson.
Man, I don't know about 10, maybe 6 or 7.
Well, I think just last year I said you can get another 10 years out of Aaron Rodgers.
You're crazy.
Sure. As long as he doesn't get hurt, Aaron Rodgers takes care of himself enough that he can keep playing. I mean, he's 37, and his production's only gone up.
I don't know that I would go that far, Heather. I think that Russell Wilson of the Bears makes them better. But, I mean, if you guys lose Allen Robinson, who's he throwing to? I mean, there's a good run game behind him. So, I mean, that's a chance. But
I like where our head's at, too. I'm a huge Bears fan, man. I am. I love the Bears. I would like to see him go there, but I don't think it's going to be a difference maker there.
I can't have the Bears be good.
No.
I like the Bears better than the Cowboys any day. But
because I'm a Packers fan, they're our rival. I can't have them be good.
So on the Russell Wilson trade, there's 2 school of thoughts, because I think I might have sent it to you, Chad. There's that fake thing going around about trading Patrick Mahomes to the Falcons. And you could do so much with something like that because you can get so much, and that's kind of how Russell Wilson is. My number one thing is I probably wouldn't do it because I've watched the Buffalo Bills search for a quarterback for 25 years. It's so hard to get a hold of one. Once you do not let go of him.
Yeah.
But when was Pete Carroll the best?
the Legion of Boom.
No money invested in anybody at the time. He got, 5th rounders, 6th rounders, 2nd rounders, 3rd rounders, and he built this team out of people he didn't have to pay. And as soon as, they won a Super Bowl, went back to another one, and then the team just started dropping off as they had to start paying people. So I think that's kind of where he might be best. So he might consider it. But when it comes down to it, in my opinion, if you have that stud quarterback, which Russell Wilson is, you do not let him go for the life of you.
I agree, but I think I just like seeing change.
Yeah.
It's kind of fun, especially watching like Tom Brady go. You're not in that era where someone's with the team the entire career anymore. It's not so weird to see people go somewhere, even the stud quarterbacks. Man, look at Chad off full screen behind me. Oh, man, that's great.
What's that?
You look at your – yeah.
Oh, I see it.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, you're looking at like this tiny phone. It's probably not as easy to see things. All right, guys. If you're watching, go ahead and throw a like on that video. If you aren't subscribed, subscribe to us. Find us on the socials and then hit up those comments. We'll hit them as we go. But we appreciate you watching. Deshaun Watson willing to sit out the year if they don't trade him.
What options does he have left? They're still telling every team they're not dealing him. He wants to leave, and Houston's like, "No, you're stuck here."
I think they will. I don't see how they can keep him at this point. If he's willing to sit out the year, at this point, you're just being prideful, and it's just stupid. Just let him go be happy. Get a ton of draft picks for him. You need the draft picks.
Here's why. Think about this. They can play hardball back, and the only thing that's going to hurt is them. And I'll tell you why. The longer that they say we're not trading, some of these other teams that would really like to have Deshaun Watson is going to start saying, okay, they're not going to trade him, so
basically
we need to start making reservations on draft night to do this.
Carolina or Denver.
What's that?
Carolina or Denver, basically the ones, maybe Miami, which I think he said he wanted to go to Carolina. I think that's what's going to end up happening. Teddy Bridgewater will end up in Houston. He'll be in Carolina. Houston's going to give up the farm. They still have Christian McCaffrey. They still have the Samuel and whoever the receivers are. DJ Moore, I think. So.
Oh, Watson would be so dangerous if he had a healthy Christian McCaffrey behind him. Ooh. That'd be a nasty offense.
No, that'd be great. I think they'd be a favorite to go to the Super Bowl if they did that. At least deep into the playoffs. Deshaun Watson in Carolina with a healthy Christian McCaffrey.
Their defense,
solid offense. They got good receivers. They got a good quarterback. They got a good running back, and that defense isn't something to slouch on.
It's middle of the pack defense. They'd at least be favorites to probably win the division if they got that. If that move happened.
Yeah, well, I'd say that's probably right. So we can get to a couple of cuts right now if you want, unless you have more on Deshaun Watson. That one's going to be an ongoing thing, so I
just hope he eventually gets out of Houston because I don't like seeing a player like that be so unhappy.
I agree.
Well, I hate it when he sits. I mean,
he's a superior talent in the NFL, and some of these guys, their best years. I mean, you only got 5 or 6 years, and he just showed Houston probably 3 of them, right?
Yeah.
I mean, he may have 8 or 10 years. I don't know, but I'm just saying, like, I'm at the time and age, not old school enough to say, you signed a contract, you do. You know what? I get it, man. Nowadays, it's about you want a ring. And obviously, the owner, again, saying some of the crap he said, I get it, man. Let him go. Get a shit ton for him, though.
Yeah. Well, I don't even think it's about getting a ring for him. He just wants to play somewhere where he's happy.
No, that ain't no joke.
He's a winner. I think he's a winner, man. I mean, he was a winner at Clemson, dude. I mean,
yeah. No, he's definitely got all the talent in the world. But yeah, if Houston's going to be hard-headed, it's only going to hurt them in the end. But honestly, they kind of deserve it. They put themselves in this position.
Yeah.
They really did. It was that whole Bill O'Brien. They were like rocking it up until Bill O'Brien, and he just annihilated that franchise.
Oh, yeah. Once they made him the head coach and general manager, that's just proof that you can't trust somebody with a butt chin.
Well, I mean, maybe, but I don't know that he really had the reputation. I don't think he had the experience, the reputation, the pedigree to give him that much.
He didn't.
You were smart enough to hide it.
You don't have a butt chin, Ogre.
I don't know. I haven't seen his chin in a while.
Well, he just like
either one of them.
Oh, damn!
I ain't got no two chins.
I'm just messing with you because I got a couple.
The Smith chin, man. It's a defined.
Yeah, no, he was looking at. I think he's looking at my camera by accident.
No, I just wanted to make a mean joke, and it wasn't very nice. I apologize. I shouldn't do that. All right, let's get to some cuts real quick. The guy who's in the best shape on this podcast. Yeah, no kidding. Kyle Van Noy, cut. Kyle Rudolph, cut.
Boy, don't be a Kyle in the NFL.
No kidding her. Golden Tate, cut. Let me see. I had a couple others. Jared Cook, cut. Josh Hill, cut. Big time things going on. Yeah. New Orleans is they're cutting everybody. Man, they gotta. I think they're still $61 million over the cap. So they've got to do a lot. And
Drew still hasn't officially retired yet, has he?
Oh, has he not?
I haven't seen.
Well, what's he doing? And Drew Brees watched this week. He has not retired yet.
I hope those are recent workout pics because that arm looked good there.
Well, the one where he was thrown through the ring's not good, but that the first video of him pushing the sled, that's what broke the media, that everybody started worrying he was coming back because he's working his ass off right now. So,
well, I mean, he's going to have to if he wants to come back and be productive because
anybody can do it. It's Drew Brees.
That's true. But
I'm just glad you set that up because I was getting ready to do the Drew Brees thing, and you just like locked it in there for me.
There's nothing better than an accidental segue.
No, I love it, and there's not really just a segue. It just you have to have Drew Brees watch. Drew Brees watch.
Say that 5 times real fast.
All right, so he disappeared.
That magic.
But probably the most surprising cut, like Kyle Rudolph, he's 10 years in. I mean, he's a solid tight end, but they're at that time, the money doesn't equate the production, so I get it. He'll get picked up quick as lightning, no big deal. Kyle Van Noy, I mean, he just signed like a $53 million last year, and like. Yeah. Maybe it was like a deal that the Dolphins and the Patriots had, like, hey, we're going to be really bad after Tom leaves. You take Van Noy for a year, we want him back. Because he's solid. Like, I always hated playing against Van Noy. So he couldn't have been that bad. So I don't know what's going on there.
I'm not sure either. I didn't see any details of why they cut him. But, yeah, there hasn't been any. That's really odd that they went back on that deal so quickly.
Yeah, and that's one of those things where, there was supposed to be 20 to 30 million guaranteed, and I figured if it's guaranteed, they're supposed to they're supposed to pay it. But it sounds like they don't have to. He's only going to make 15. Oh man, look at this! You ready for the Sailors?
M. Kimmel, I.
Who's what guy? There's 3 guys.
I think so. About Chad.
That's Chad.
But yeah, so, that's really odd. If he goes back to New England, they'll probably get him out a deal, and that'd be a huge pick.
No, especially if that guaranteed money's still coming in. I'm sure he'll take a pretty, he won't take very much money to go back to New England in a system he knows that he's productive in and still make money. Mm-hmm. It's pretty awesome. So, other than that, I think you told me that Big Ben has a timeline for restructuring his contract.
Yes, definitely wants to come back, and the Steelers want him back because they're gluttons for punishment.
He's still good enough. Who are they going to have that's not that good? So it makes sense to bring him back.
Yeah, but within the next few weeks, they want his deal done. They want to come to some kind of agreement.
Now, do they already have a deal? Like, is he in a contract and they just have to restructure it because he's old, or is he actually end of his contract now?
I'm almost positive he was at the end of his contract after last season.
I thought so too. So they just want to get a new deal. It's probably going to be a 2-year deal.
Because they had
$20 million.
Because they had to wait to see if he's going to retire or not.
25 million. I mean, he's not going to get top level Patrick Mahomes money, but he's probably in that $25 million.
Why don't a guy like that just take like $3 million a year and allow his team to bring in? I mean, like what Brady's done over the years, dude. Come on, he's made.
I mean, there's ways to do it, but yeah, I think he should realize. I mean, I don't know why all players don't realize at this point in time. You know, why do you? Oh, well, they're pressured by the union because if they don't take the big money, it messes with everybody else's contract. But myself, I'm good with several $1 million to play football. I would take that middle of the road and then bring in the talent around me, because if you're taking top level quarterback money, you've killed your chances at stuff. You're having to work with inferior talent.
I mean, listen,
that's not true. What the Chiefs are doing.
Patrick Mahomes' contract is one of the smartest things ever. It's going to start off big money, but since it's 10 years, while all the quarterbacks go up in price, he's going to level out. So by the end of his contract, if they don't redo him right, like 5 years in, he's going to be making mid-level to low-level quarterback money.
Yeah, but even
That's
now,
smart.
In the bigger part of his contract, the Chiefs haven't lost anybody around him.
Oh, they're over the cap right now, so they're going to have to do some stuff, but they've done some pretty good job maneuvering. So we'll see what happens with them. But yeah, give it next year. I think they'll probably be, unless the cap makes a huge jump, they'll be in some trouble. Too much talent.
We don't need to sign any running backs to any type of contract. I feel like our GM has done an incredible job drafting good running backs.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, at this point, we've done an excellent job at really drafting pass rushers for a while and outside linebackers and stuff.
You guys have done good on interior linemen. It seems like as soon as one gets the new contract, you guys draft an even better one.
Yeah. So I have faith in the system. But
all right. I think that hits everything except for the saddest story.
Yeah, got a little heartbreak today.
All right, guys. If you haven't heard, Chad, you're going to hear now, and I hope you have heard, so you've been able to brace yourself. This doesn't hurt too bad. But the Washington football team is set. I don't think they've done it yet, but they are set to cut Alex Smith. And I always say, we all can agree that we love Alex Smith. But apparently not everybody loves Alex Smith. Not that one guy that loves Ben Roethlisberger. And not the football team.
You know what?
Sequence.
It almost seems like it even played the music slower this time because it's so sad. So we all can agree that everybody except for the football team and that one guy that voted for Ben Roethlisberger for comeback player of the year, we all love Alex Smith.
You know what? He looked pretty good in that burgundy, the gold 11, the gold pants. I mean, that's a pretty sharp looking uniform too. I mean, he looked good in it.
Yeah.
So what do you think starting for the Patriots next year?
You know what? No. He would be a good guy for the Patriots. I think, honestly, man, let him go out in I say, send him to Dallas, man.
They won't. They'll have Dak back. They won't start him.
I don't want Mike McCarthy to ruin him.
You're right, dude.
Yeah.
There. As long as he don't go to Denver, there's only one player that's ever went to Denver, and I didn't buy his uniform then. I bought his uniform when he went to the Jets, and that's Tim Tebow, baby.
Yeah, I like Tim Tebow.
Yeah.
So before we get off the not so breaking offseason news, I forgot when we were talking about J.J. Watt. Chad asked me to have this ready for him. Is that the picture, Chad?
Yep, that's the one.
That is J.J. Watt at the Pat Tillman area, honoring who came before him there. And actually, to get number 99, because I don't know if you guys realize this, but 99 was retired by the Arizona Cardinals.
Was it really?
And to get it, I forget who the guy was. He played in like the 40s and 50s or something like that.
Yeah,
But
Goldberg.
J.J. Watt went to his daughter and asked permission to get 99, and they gave him permission, so they will have 99.
You're kidding.
Nope, they're bringing it out of retirement, which I don't know that I'm a fan of that, but at least he went to the family and said, "Hey, I need this."
Hey, man, J.J. Watt's a big enough acquisition that, it's not like, can we even name the player that's number 99?
Marshall Goldberg.
Marshall Goldberg. Okay. If he was going to the Chicago Bears and he wanted 34, that would be a no. If he was going to San Francisco and he wanted 16, that would be a no. Marshall Goldberg, I'm sure, was a fine, outstanding young man that played hard, but J.J. Watt is J.J. Watt. And what he's done for the city of Houston, I hope he does the same cool stuff in Phoenix, man.
Oh, I'm sure he will.
I mean, he is a class act player, dude. I mean, I've seen him jump straight up on top of like things higher than his head almost. I mean, the guy is unreal. He's a freak.
There's very few people I love in football as much as I love J.J. Watt.
Yeah.
And because one of the things that he said when he first came into the league, they're like, well, you're saving your money and you're not out partying like all these other players. He goes, I've got, like a 5 to 10 year window to do my craft and make my money. I'll have plenty of time to party afterwards. I'm going to get better at football. You got to love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
like as much as J.J. Watt, but one of them also plays in Arizona for now.
Who?
Larry Fitzgerald.
Yeah. What's funny about Larry, and everybody loves Larry, but Larry Fitzgerald said that, when he come in, he was kind of a diva receiver, but he had Kurt Warner, and Kurt Warner put the smackdown on him and put him in, and he's been one of the most respectful dudes ever. So
I never saw the diva in him.
Well, I didn't either, but that's because Kurt Warner stamped that out. He got it and made him the team first, and I hope he plays and breaks every record. He is Larry Legend.
Yep.
All right, guys. Well, that is your not so breaking offseason news.
Not so breaking off-season news.
You know what that means. It means on to the next segment. You know what the next segment is?
Do we get to make it official?
It is official.
The polls
were closed. The polls were closed. We ran them, and an overwhelming majority across Facebook and Twitter. Not that there was a lot of votes, but overwhelming majority. Would you like to announce who our new official quarterback is?
Yeah, I'll do it. Our new official quarterback, moving on from Joe Flacco. Our new quarterback is Fitzmagic.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you the official quarterback of Up the Gut.
That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. I don't care what they all say. That's right. I'ma do this thing my way. Let's go. Been grinding hard on it all day. Okay. We work hard, then we all play. Yeah. I'm addicted to the grind, man. That's right. So I refuse to waste time, man.
I'm so happy.
I tell you, I could have made that thing 5 minutes longer, but I just knew we couldn't put it in the show. The music, like I don't even. Hold on. I'm gonna find out who the song is because you guys need to look them up. This is one of those copyright-free songs, so you can use it, but you still. I think we need to.
For a copyright-free song, that wasn't bad.
It is Neffex, which is Neffex. And the song is Unstoppable. So go check him out. He again giving up his music with no copyright, so we can use it as we want. And we have a comment that says, "Why? Because the people have spoken, and he's amazing."
He is amazing.
He really is. He is like the greatest backup ever because everywhere he goes, he just ends up better than the starter, and it doesn't matter who your starter is. It could be anybody. If he went in behind Patrick Mahomes, guess who's going to be starting?
at least for 2 games.
Did I tell you about my Ehlers button? Anytime I need someone to agree with me, there he is. Like, is Joe Flacco amazing? That's right, Ehlers. Oh, so, but yeah, the people spoke. It was a vote put out. I mean, Jim McMahon never really stood a chance because, I mean, who would want that on there? I mean, let's alienate our viewers.
Nobody else.
Robert
really
loves the button. There you go.
Honestly, nobody else really stood a chance.
No, that was, I mean, Phillip Rivers, he has our spot and flip that guy. Alex Smith has the spot and everybody loves Alex Smith. It couldn't really be anybody other than Fitzpatrick.
Yeah.
That's just where it was. So again, guys, welcome the new, hold on, wait, I think I have a banner for this. The new official quarterback of Up the Gut is Ryan Fitzpatrick.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you the official quarterback of Up the Gut.
That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. I don't care what they all say. That's right. I'ma do this thing my way. Let's go. Been grinding hard on it all day. It's okay. We work hard, then we all play. Yeah. I'm addicted to the grind, man. That's right. So I refuse to waste time, man.
The beard, the deep V. How could you not love that, man?
Up the Gut, Fitz magic. I like it.
You know what we do need though at some point is just a video like that, but just a couple of little clips of him in every uniform he's ever worn.
I don't think we have enough time.
They're gonna be really short, like really just.
Can either of you guys list all the teams that he's been on?
Oh, not off the top of the dome.
No.
Cincinnati.
But if you just start listing all 32, you get more than 70% of them right.
I believe he started in Cincinnati, and then he came to Buffalo. He was on the Jets.
Buffalo. I thought he started in Buffalo.
No, he started in Cincinnati. I think he even started some games in Cincinnati. So Cincinnati, Buffalo, Jets, Tampa Bay, Miami, Houston.
Oh yeah.
And I think there's at least one more. But you gonna do some crack research on that one?
I am, because
I mean we should know everything about him. He is our official quarterback.
He started with the Rams. That's who drafted him.
Oh, then it wasn't Cincinnati. He was in Cincinnati, wasn't he?
Went to Cincinnati. Then Buffalo to Tennessee. Don't forget his year in Tennessee.
I already forgot his year in Tennessee.
Then the Texans and the Jets, then the Bucks and the Dolphins.
Okay, so I just forgot Tennessee and the Rams. I tell you what, though, if you're watching this or any friends of Ryan Fitzpatrick are watching this, let him know that he's the official quarterback. I want him on the show. All right, that would really cement this. So
I'd love to talk to him.
We're excited about having Fitzmagic on here. Fitzmagic, Fitztragic, Fitz amazing.
We don't call him Fitztragic here. How dare you?
It happens, though. Trust me. I watched him for many a year. But he's still one of my favorites, and I have his jersey. So maybe I'll wear that on one of the shows.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey, man, let's read some stuff. So let's see if Mac can keep us in line about whose turn it is each time. Wrong button. There we go.
I think the phone's starting to get hot. I'm starting to hear it do some funky stuff.
Well, I just can't wait for you. Got you all set up with a mic and a ring light. Anyway, let's start with 10. Matt, you go ahead and start us off.
I put Mike Evans at the bottom of my top 10.
Makes sense. I got you. I did Allen Robinson. Chad, do you remember your list?
I don't have it in front of me right now. Who did I have at number 10?
Chad had Juju Smith-Schuster.
Did you?
All three different 10s, but all three solid. Allen Robinson is probably one of the quietest. You know, him and Mike Evans are pretty similar. Mike Evans being with Tom Brady probably gets a little more attention, but they don't complain and they just put up yards.
Yeah. No, Mike Evans this past season just broke a record for most consecutive 1,000-yard seasons.
And
just quietly consistent.
10, and he's at number 10.
Yeah, you put him at number 10. What were you thinking? Any thoughts on your – oh, go ahead.
Well, because Mike Evans gets yards and he'll help, like, keep drives alive, but he's not a huge threat. Like, you can cover him. You can stop him. And
I agree.
He won't usually he's starting to lose that break the top off the defense speed, too, because he's been around for a minute.
Yeah, he played at Oklahoma State.
That's a good question.
I don't remember where he played. I don't remember where he played. Was he with the who's that one guy? His name was like Johnny or Manziel. Did he play with him?
Yeah.
Texas A&M.
Texas A&M.
A&M. There you go. Chad, any thoughts on your Juju Smith-Schuster?
Man, I think he filled some big shoes after Antonio Brown left. I think Antonio Brown was the big, huge casting shadow superstar.
Yeah.
And I think him and Antonio kind of went after each other on a few things on Twitter there for a while. And I believe right after that, Juju was the one that proceeded to make his career even better while Antonio kept digging his hole deeper. I think Juju Schuster, I think he put his own foot in his mouth whenever they played the Cleveland Browns, though, in the playoffs and said, it's the Browns. Yeah. I don't like that aspect of it, but I think up until then, I feel like he came a long way. I think he was able to shine, and I don't know. I just felt like he was worthy of number 10. There's probably other guys I should have had in there, but
once he started TikTok dancing on teams' logos, that's when things started to kind of go downhill for him.
Yep. That's what I was going to say. I think he was too much of a distraction and hurt his team in those ways, off the field or prior to the game. So, and I guess we'll go to 9.
9.
Number 9 for Chad is AJ Brown. Number 9 for me is Mike Evans.
Number 9 for me is Keenan Allen.
I got you. No, that's a solid one. We'll get to him eventually on my list. But again, we already talked about Mike Evans. He's quiet, he's consistent, but I can put him before a lot of these people. He almost didn't make my list, but when I looked at some of the other ones, his numbers were too good to leave him off. So and then you said you had Keenan Allen, so let's hear about that.
Because he's also been super consistent. He's starting to get up there, and now he's got a brand new quarterback that he has to get the timing with, and he's still immediately got because he's the veteran. He immediately gelled with Justin Herbert out there, and he still put up a really good season. Mm-hmm. And a lot of receivers, you have to give about a year or so to get used to a new quarterback, especially a rookie.
Mm-hmm. Wait. So, Chad, you had AJ Brown?
Yeah, solid, pretty quiet, kind of like your Robinson guy, Allen Robinson guy, but definitely young and doing,
I just think he's one of the reasons that Tannehill's had that resurgence in his career. He has Derrick Henry behind him, which obviously is going to open up, lessen the coverage because they're stacking the box. And then AJ Brown is just, watching him play, he's a solid talent.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
All right.
And he's a young.
This one's me, I guess. I have DK Metcalf. Who do you got there, Matt?
This is where I put Justin Jefferson.
And Chad, this is where you put Justin Jefferson.
Hey!
DK Metcalf's a beast. He really is. He's probably a little low on my list just because he isn't. He is a beast, but he has Tyler Lockett there too. And then he's got Russell Wilson throwing the ball. So that's probably why he's a little farther down, but solid. Like he's a big, athletic, fast, good receiver. So How about that rookie you guys have all the way at number 8?
Yeah, if Justin Herbert hadn't come out and lit the league on fire with the Chargers, he would have been rookie of the year, no doubt.
Yeah. I mean, we were talking about it from, I don't know, when we started doing the show again live. I mean, he's been on our radar.
Yeah, he's on everyone's radar. He's I think he's the best receiver in Minnesota. I think he's better than Adam Thielen.
You agree with you. I went and bought this button just to do this.
I know it.
Like, I don't just have buttons laying around. Chad, you got anything on Justin Jefferson tearing it up there in Minnesota?
Well, I mean, he's got Kirk Cousins throwing to him up there.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we're not huge fans of Kirk Cousins. Obviously, the coach likes him. Kirk Cousins is a guy that I think beginning of the year, he's the one that said, hey, COVID or not, I'm ready to play. I mean, he was ready to get out there and go gangster. I mean, I don't know, man. I mean, for a rookie to come out and do what he did, pretty impressive.
He broke Anquan Bolden's – it was Anquan Bolden's record, right? Rookie receiving yards.
Mm.
Pretty big name to beat out.
Yeah, it is. Oh, Anquan.
I think this is transforming into the NFL just nicely, basically.
All right, what do you got at 7 there, Matt?
That's where I put DK Metcalf.
Nice. This is where Chad had Mike Evans, and this is where I had Justin Jefferson.
Nice.
So we've all talked about these before. I mean, it's close enough that, it's just preference on who they are. The reason I don't know, Justin Jefferson he took that Stephon Diggs role and he took it and he made it his own. He broke a record. And anytime you break a rookie record, you're going to get a little more credit in my book, I think. Now, he could probably be higher on the list. He just has to be more consistent.
Well, especially when you don't have a top-tier passer throwing you the ball.
Hey, listen, I think you're the one that told me that Kirk Cousins is the most accurate quarterback in the NFL.
I don't believe I ever told you that.
I believe you told me that. Like, he if not the most accurate, I think he is the most accurate quarterback in the NFL.
Oh, like just for last season?
No, since he's been in the league.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, you did the crack research. You told me.
I can't. I got to be second guessing myself. I mean, maybe if he's throwing just short passes.
Oh, I forget what it was, but you would give me some stat on Kirk Cousins about how accurate he was.
I mean, he's got a career accuracy of 67%. That's pretty good, but it's not the best.
It is now because we said so.
I'm pretty sure Drew Brees still has that record.
Yeah, he's solid. So, Mike Evans and DK Metcalf, say what you got to say. You guys feel free to jump in.
I think DK is only going to go higher on this list just because he's such an athletic freak.
He is,
and he doesn't get hurt, so he'll put in the time to get all those stats built up. I think he's going to be a top 3 receiver before it's all said and done.
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me at all. Anything else on Mike Evans we haven't touched on, Chad?
No, I think maybe it's not him, but I was thinking there was a point where I thought he had a lot of drops and stuff earlier in his career, but I don't think
early in his year, but this year he had a little bit of trouble gelling with Tom for a little bit.
I think overall, though, like Matt said, I mean, just the number of years he's consecutively being successful in this NFL. I mean, and the quarterbacks in front of him, in front of Brady. I mean,
Fitzpatrick,
he's a huge guy, man. I think his hands are enormous.
And for someone so tattooed, he really is a quiet guy. This is where Chad has DK Metcalf.
He's a freak.
He is. This is where I have AJ Brown.
This is where I have the guy opposite DK Metcalf. That's where I have Tyler Lockett.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, I want you to finish on that one, so I'm just going to say on AJ Brown. Like I said earlier, I think he's probably the reason Ryan Tannehill's had that resurgence with having Derrick Henry and AJ Brown there. He's just I mean, I watched him play, and he scares the bejesus out of me when he plays this. So, solid player. What do you got on DK Metcalf other than he's just a freak?
Man,
Chadwick.
I think that we might be watching, and I know some people are real big on Lamb out of Dallas, but I think here in about 2 years from now, depending on what Russell Wilson does, I think we might be pushing Metcalf in that top 2 or 3, man. I really believe it.
Yeah. It's definitely possible. And he has
extremely fast, runs good routes, good hands. He's slick, man. He's a stud, man. He's a straight stud.
Now, I am so surprised that you had 2 Seattle receivers on your list. So tell me about Tyler Lockett. I believe what he a K-State speedy?
Yeah, yep. Tyler Lockett is the perfect partner for DK Metcalf on that offense. DK is more of your in the middle of the field guy because he can outmuscle people for the ball. But if you want to try to double DK, Tyler will make you pay every time because he can also run routes really well, really drops the ball, and he still has that break the top off the defense speed. Almost every time you see Russell throw a deep ball, it's usually to Tyler Lockett.
Oh, guys, I got breaking news.
Did you actually get an update on him?
Drew Brees still hasn't retired.
Man, you made Chad go away just for that.
I couldn't help it. There was just an opportunity there. We're halfway through our list. Had to do it. Couldn't help it. But since Chad got up, I think it's my turn to start this one anyway. So
5.
Number 5 is where I put Michael Thomas.
That's where I put Tyreek Hill.
Really?
Yeah.
Because that's where Chad put Tyreek Hill.
Yeah. Full disclosure, Michael Thomas didn't make my list.
Really?
It's because he didn't play last year.
He's still so good.
Still really good, but if he's going to miss that kind of time, it kind of puts you down the list.
No, I had to keep him on the list. He's just too good. He was the number 1 receiver last year.
He was.
There's no way I couldn't have put him on this list. And I think that, although he was injured, he'll be back just in same form. He'll be putting up numbers, especially since the breaking news that Drew Brees is not retired yet. So,
but he still has time to retire, though.
So I'll let you 2 Tyreek Hill boys talk about it.
I mean, the man put up 200 receiving yards in a quarter. How many people do that?
Tyreek Hill and maybe Calvin Johnson.
That's how good Tyreek Hill can be. Obviously, you can't do that every game because eventually people will cover you. But
yeah, I mean, they did in the Super Bowl.
His speed alone is what makes him so deadly because that's what kills everybody.
But it's controlled speed. He can move himself around. He can. It's not just he's fast. He's not just the Torrey Smith booking as fast as he can downfield and catch a deep ball. He's cutting, and I mean, he's got acceleration. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt, but there's so much more to him than just the speed. But he has major speed.
Yeah, no, he's a good route runner. But if you need him to just run that go route, he's the best at it.
Stupid good. And I remember watching the mic'd up when the Bills played him in the AFC Championship, and they just said everybody they cut to just said that guy has he's on a whole nother level.
Yeah,
nobody at that level.
And he doesn't drop.
You got any more you want? No, you got any more you want to add about your Tyreek? I expected Chad to put him a little higher.
Guys, he's when he first started, they said he's going to have to learn how to run routes and this and that and so forth, because he was more of a special teams, special talent. And I feel like he's done. I think he's exceeded my expectations of what he would be as a wide receiver. He really has. The guy, I mean, typically you wouldn't, the guy that short, but like you said, it's not just speed down the field, man. He's got speed laterally. He's sneaky. He's smooth, man. He's definitely you can look at all the different wide receivers and you can put a lot of them in different categories. The big tall guys, the big strong guys. You got your slot receivers and so forth. Man, he's kind of got that slot receiver, but yet he's he's a deep ball threat, man, even at his size, because he can get that extra few steps out in front of him. So,
yeah,
definitely a stud, man. I think it's good that hopefully all that crap, all the off-field shenanigans, hopefully that's done in his career.
The only reason he's not higher on my list is because he can't win a lot of contested catches because he's so small.
I don't think he needs to, but
not if you're going deep down the field. But if
I've seen him win some contested catches, he has that drive, man. He's got the fire.
He's got the drive, but he's gonna probably lose that battle more than win.
I mean, if it's a jump ball, but
Yeah.
I mean, if it's just the balls in that general area, he's got the. I mean, he's going to go out and get it.
He's more dangerous when you have more field to work with, because then he has room to maneuver.
I don't see him drop balls either.
No, absolutely not.
4.
Now, Matt, I think this is you, but before you say this, I think I know who you're going to say, because I think about who's left and the fact that you didn't put Michael Thomas on your list. And if you have who I think you have here, we're going to have some talks. So who do you have here?
That's where I put Allen Robinson.
Oh, okay. Never mind. We're good.
Who'd you think?
We're good. I thought you were going to put Julio in here. I'm like, how could you say that Michael Thomas couldn't make it, but you put Julio up in there?
No.
All right, so we're good. Allen Robinson has sneaky good.
Yeah. No, well, I mean, he's always been good. He just hasn't played on a top tier offense.
Yeah, I mean, he played in Jacksonville with who was that one guy? I can't even remember his name now.
Blaine Gabbert.
No, not Blaine Gabbert. The other one. Blake Bortles, the wide receiver turned quarterback.
That's right. Yes, Blake Bortles.
Blake Bortles, and then he goes and plays with the revolving door that is Trubisky Foles.
Yeah,
and he still puts up over 1,200 yards and 6 or 8 touchdowns. I think it's 6 touchdowns.
Yeah,
I mean, just solid.
He's extremely talented, and I would love to see him one day get to play on one of those.
Well, he's a free agent.
He is.
He's going to be like that Brandon Cooks, where he bounces around and always is really good, always has good numbers, but always is on a new team next year. If he could come to Buffalo, I think that'd be great.
He puts up better numbers than Brandon Cooks.
Brandon Cooks has been solid, though. You can't. I almost put him in my list,
but he's not a top 10 receiver.
No, that's why he's not on my list. But I thought about him. I consider him because everywhere he's gone, he's put up good numbers.
Yeah,
except I think in New England, which is weird. This is where Chad had Michael Thomas and where I had Tyreek Hill. So I just thought Tyreek was more, a lot of people think of him as that speed guy, but I thought he was more all around solid receiver. So that's why he went up a little bit higher on my list, because he does put up the yards. He is that go-to. And I've seen him in games whenever things aren't looking good. He's just like, give me the ball, and he's open every play because he is so quick and is so good at what he does.
Yep.
Anything on Michael Thomas you got, Chad, before we move on to the random number 3s we got?
We talked about it earlier, man. I mean, when you're in a system with guys like Drew Brees thrown to you or Stephon Diggs, they're all really great talents. But what brings these guys to another level is definitely the quarterback throwing them the ball, man. Drew Brees is a Hall of Fame quarterback, one of the best to ever take a snap in the NFL. And I feel like I would like to know where Michael goes from here. I think, Patrick, you're right. I think he's that talented. He does get himself open. He understands what Drew Brees wants him to do. I just want to see what happens now if Drew Brees isn't going to be coming back.
Yeah.
He's had so many good seasons here in a row.
Nah, he's good. He's maybe a little more arrogant than I care for, but, I mean, he is good at what he does.
In some of the best wide receivers out there, I mean, for the longest time, other than DeAndre Hopkins and guys like that just go to work and just kick ass. But
DeAndre Hopkins is pretty cocky too. Just because he doesn't yell at people doesn't mean he's not. I mean, my favorite story about DeAndre Hopkins is whenever Bill Belichick caught him on the field, they're mic'd up, and then Bill Belichick says, "Hey, you're the best receiver in the game," and he goes, "I know."
Yeah.
Anyway,
3.
I think this is Chad, and Chad had Devontae Adams here, and this is where I had Devontae Adams.
This is where I had Devontae Adams.
We all matched up. I didn't expect that. Well, good job. Good for us. So, 18 touchdowns. I know you have Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball, but that guy's just good.
Yeah. It's because he has probably arguably the best hands in the game because he does not drop passes. And probably the best route runner, but he doesn't have that breakaway speed.
Well, he had to make up for all the other Packers receivers dropping balls, so averages.
Yeah, I think he legitimately had one drop all season.
I'm going to say this again, and not taking any credit away from these guys that we have in our top fives. But again, look who's throwing him the ball, man.
Mm-hmm. That's going to be a huge part.
You get a good thrown ball at you. It makes all the difference in the world. I would like to do a list sometime of the top 10 most possible underrated wide receivers, which some of these guys might be on that list to go way up higher for the teams.
Allen Robinson, Brandon Cooks.
Yeah, always changing the offensive schemes. Always got a new offensive coordinator. Always got a new quarterback. Always, I think it would really open our eyes. Some of these guys just don't ever get the chance, man. They may not be freaks of nature like Randy Moss or the old TOs or things like that, but look at Julio Jones, man. We talked about him earlier. Kudos to that guy, man. If this was 3 years ago, Julio's in this top 3. He's had Matt Ryan, which I think Matt Ryan at this point is basically, I think he's iced out. I think he's done for the most part. I know you guys think differently.
No, I'm in agreement. I think we're all in agreement. I think that he still has some talent in there, but after that 28-3 Super Bowl, he has not been the same guy. From that moment to now, he's not the same quarterback.
They had 3 guys on that team, I believe, that were stud receivers. They had Julio Jones, Roddy White, and Roddy White was like the 3 guy, I think.
Roddy White was number 1. Then they got Julio Jones, and then Julio Jones was number 1, and Roddy White. I don't know who the third one would be. They got Calvin Ridley was the number 1 this year for Atlanta, but it's a symbiotic relationship. The good receiver is made great with a good quarterback, and a great quarterback can make a good receiver amazing, or a bad receiver good. It just depends, but you have to have someone. And Josh Allen made a huge leap.
Mohamed Sanu was that third guy on that Falcons team.
There you go. Yeah. Mohamed Sanu. He wasn't amazing, but he was good. He was solid. He was good. He's the guy that did the flip in Cincinnati, didn't he?
He was good in Washington too.
Yeah. So
he's a solid number 3. Are you kidding me? That's amazing.
Yeah, for number 3. That's like Kansas City. They have like a solid number 18.
Well, we call Kelsey the number 1 guy as a tight end.
Him and Tyreek, and then Hardman and Robinson and Watkins, and you guys got some guys. Most of them pretty speedy too.
But honestly, though, I think Devontae's the best route runner in football.
I would make an argument on that one.
I don't know, just the way he cuts his little jump off the line. Like, you can't jam him at the line of scrimmage. You can't play press coverage on him.
When it comes to these top 3, and I think we all have the same top 3, they're all stupendous at what they do, but there's arguments I'll be made. So we'll just go ahead and go to
2.
At this point, I think it's Matt's turn. I don't remember.
That's where I put Stephon Diggs.
That's where Chad put Stephon Diggs. That's not where I put Stephon Diggs. No. That's where I put DeAndre Hopkins. And I think we all can agree that DeAndre is an extreme talent. He is stupid good at what he does. The Hail Mary alone shows what he can do. But he puts up good numbers. But like 4 years ago, something like that, he fell off the map. He couldn't catch a ball to save his life. He was just lost in the shuffle, didn't have a good year. I don't know. You might be able to look up the stats, see what year it was. But, you don't want to see that. And then with my number 1 leading in receiving yards and receptions and what I've seen and what happened for the team, I couldn't put DeAndre over him because even then his team didn't make the playoffs, even if he was that good. Do you see some stats there? What do you got on Stephon? Oh, wait.
Yeah, I mean, DeAndre never had a bad season.
I'm not
his
saying
worst
bad, but
year, his worst year was his rookie year. And then 2016, he was just under 1,000 yards receiving. But other than that, it's been 1,000 yards every season.
Then it was 16. Like I said, I'm trying to remember what year. They all kind of blur together. But there's one where he just
drop off the map. He still had 78 catches for 954 yards.
Yeah, but do you want to realize? Look at who got 954 yards this year. Those are guys that don't make our list. If you're going to be the number one receiver in football, you're not going to fall off like that. You're not going to be, high twos, low ones.
Well, I would say pull up all of your Bills guy, Diggs. Pull up his. I mean, I think Hopkins is. I don't know, man. He's a freak too, dude.
He's stupid good. I mean, it's not like he's low on my list. He's
nothing wrong with having a bad. Nothing wrong with having. It may not even been a bad.
And I don't even know who his quarterback. He may have a bad quarterback at the same time, which just goes to show how much a good quarterback will work for you. But that's why I knocked him down. That and whenever you lead the league in receptions and receiving yards, you get pretty high on my list.
Hey, Patrick, just say it. And when you are a Buffalo Bills,
yeah. But I've got other things to go along with it. So it's not like it's a horribly separated 1 and 2. It's not like my 1 is so far past everything that, there's no, I wasn't trying to decide. DeAndre Hopkins could have been my number 1, but again, leaving in receiving yards, leading in receptions. Anyway, you guys talk about Stephon Diggs.
Yeah, that's fun. He's never had a bad year. He's had years that are kind of low for him, 2 to be exact. But he's always reliable. And he was on a fairly inferior offense compared to what Stephon Diggs is working with in Buffalo.
Well, I mean, we really don't have a run game. If we had a run game, I think he'd do a lot better.
But if you're in an offense that mostly passes, you better lead the league in catches and receiving yards.
Hey, Chad, if we did, I want to say that Josh Allen wasn't my number 1 quarterback. He wasn't even my number 2 quarterback. And if we did a running back top 10, no Bills running back would make it.
No.
So it's not all about being a fan. I can see how things work out. I can see how people are. But if it's like this,
who's your number 1 quarterback?
Aaron Rodgers.
Patrick Mahomes, number 2.
Yep. Josh Allen, number 3.
A little special on Cowherd the other night before I go to bed, and Cowherd brought up a point about there's a lot of people out there right now that's got more vision with Josh Allen than Patrick Mahomes. They say how Patrick Mahomes lives on this whole separate planet, and I'm a huge Mahomes fan. I'm glad Kansas City's got him. But, they talked about his size, his durability. He's actually faster in the 40 than Patrick Mahomes. The ball velocity. There were several different statistics that Cowherd threw out there that, definitely lets you know how good Allen is and why Diggs is where he is on your list today and our list today. Because honestly, when they traded for him, he was known as that troublemaker, prima donna, carries a lot of baggage, so that's kind of where.
And he hasn't been that at all in Buffalo. I just want to say that.
No, he joined the Boy Scouts. And, he's not part of like this scream and crying, but I just wonder how long a player like that has.
But he hasn't had anything to scream and cry about either. He led the league in receptions and yards.
Yeah. No, he's always been good too. He was amazing in Minnesota.
Mm-hmm.
And now he got an upgrade in quarterback production, so his numbers obviously went up.
But Josh Allen's numbers went up stupid good with him too.
Yeah,
having him has made a huge difference. But when you have John Brown was injured for a lot of the year, but when you got Cole Beasley, Stephon Diggs, and John Brown, Gabriel Davis had a solid, I think, almost 6 or almost 700 yard season for a rookie. Gabriel Davis is going to be solid. So, but Stephon Diggs was that guy for Josh Allen, and that's where he looked every time he was in trouble. And with that route running and the things he could do to shake a dude, shake and bake, he made a difference. So let's just go to
1.
DeAndre Hopkins.
That's where I had. So you had DeAndre Hopkins. Chad had DeAndre Hopkins. I had Stephon Diggs. for the reasons I've talked about. Like he did some amazing things, lead the league in receiving yards and receptions, and that was Josh Allen's outlet. Like anytime he's in trouble, he could find that guy, and the routes he could run and the things he can do was amazing. So, I mean, he's in our intro for the show. He catches a ball, just a random jump ball against a Raider defender, and just takes it down. Anyway, you guys talk about DeAndre though, because I could talk about Diggs all day. I love that guy.
I mean, they're pretty even in talent, these two. The only reason I got Hopkins higher on my list is because he's putting up similar numbers to Stephon Diggs on an inferior offense. Compared
Probably
to
a better running game, and they got Kyler. Kyler's not that bad. I mean, I think he made my top 10 quarterbacks. I think he was like number 6.
I think his best years, though, if he would have had a Josh Allen, an Aaron Rodgers, or a Patrick Mahomes, or
he had Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson was my
the last couple of years. I know the last few years, but I'm just saying he's in the downslide of his career, man. He is.
DeAndre Hopkins?
I think so.
I think he's going to be. I think he'll be good for a while.
What was his rookie year?
Man, I love when Matt does crack research. He's so quick at it too.
I think he came in the league in 13?
Yeah, 13. So he's going into year 9, 8.
Yeah, that's for receivers. 10, 11 years, and but still be ranked in the 1 and 2 on our list. That long into your career, I mean, he's doing good. And Kyler Murray, like I said, he's going to keep finding him.
Hey, he's going into year 9. He'll turn 29 this year. I think he's still got a good
2-3 years.
He does, but I guess what I'm saying, he's not in his prime. He's not in his prime.
No.
As long as he stays healthy, and Arizona's a good place to stay healthy. I mean, he's got a real good productive 3 years ahead of him.
Yeah. Especially because Kyler's only going to get better.
But I'll tell you this much: next year, if we have the same conversation next year, I don't have Hopkins at number 1. I doubt. I really don't think so. I think no matter what the Cardinals do, I think I don't know. Maybe he will be, but I think he'll still be top 5. I think Diggs still has a good shot at top 2 or 3. I think Tyreek has a chance to make a move up, but it's tough whenever your tight end has more receiving yards than you, though. Yeah. Like that does take a little hit on you. Leaving, Michael Thomas goes down.
Oh, I mean, definitely, but I mean, do we get that update? Drew Brees still isn't retired. Drew Brees might come back. He's working towards it. What do you guys next week? You want to rate some tight ends?
We can rate some tight ends.
Top 10 tight ends. Can we do 10?
I think so.
Let's do top 10 tight ends next week.
I'm confident that we're not going to agree on number 1 already.
You still got Kittle number 1, don't you? Don't say it. That's next week. Don't say it.
Look, I'm not spoiling the whole list, but yeah, I still think Kittle, and that's just for me because the kind of offense I want to run. I think Kittle's a better tight end.
Yeah, you like his blocking. I'm still going to go Kelsey. Whenever you're got the second most receiving yards as a tight end.
I like his willingness to block. He wants to hit people. That's what I like about him.
Yeah, he loves it. And watching. All right, save it for next week. Hey, guys, that's up. I've got rate some stuff.
Go on and rate it.
All right. What do you guys think of that? That's some good rating.
It was. And now it's time for us to get mad.
No, I'm not really mad. Let's get into it, man. This segment, flip that guy. Flipping, dadgummit.
Dadgummit indeed, Phillip Rivers.
I really do enjoy the music put in here.
I just really enjoy hearing Phillip Rivers yell dadgummit.
He's doing a lot. So I'm going to go ahead and start this one off because this is going to be the nicest flip that guy ever. Because it's J.J. Watt. And I already said, there's few guys I love in football as much as J.J. Watt. But, do you guys remember when J.J. Watt said that he wanted to go to a winning team? Yes, that's a Kelvin Benjamin catching like a 30-yard pass from Josh Allen's rookie year against Green Bay.
Yeah.
Don't worry, we lost. So, but you remember when J.J. Watt said, "I want to go to a winning team"?
Yeah.
Well, don't sit there and say, "I want to go to a winning team," if you're going to turn around and go to a team that didn't even make the playoffs. That's not getting the ring, J.J. Watt. That's getting the money, getting the defensive scheme you're comfortable with, and being warm in the winter. So you know what? J.J. Watt, as nice as I can do this, man, because I'm not mad you didn't come with us because I don't want to pay you that much money because I think we could spend the money elsewhere. I'm glad you got what's best for you, but J.J. Watt, as nice as I can do this, man.
Flipping, dadgummit!
All right, guys. That's me. Matt, what do you got here?
Chad, do you have a flip and flip that guy?
I'm going to give flip and flip that guy, I think, to the Texans management.
Me too. That was my flip and flip that guy.
Well, you guys talk about that.
I mean, what's there to say? How are you going to be this hard-headed with the Deshaun Watson situation? You let J.J. Watt go. You let DeAndre Hopkins go. Why not let Deshaun Watson go? Clearly, he's not happy. And an unhappy employee is an unproductive employee. So why would you be so hard-headed about keeping him trapped in your terrible organization? It doesn't make sense.
So from the deepest pits of our heart, Houston Texans ownership, management, people in charge, from us and from Deshaun Watson, man.
Flipping, dadgummit!
This is how I always tell people that Houston is doomed for failure because they do stuff like this.
Hello, universe. How are you? Yeah? I got you. We're in the middle of the show right now. I'll do it right now. Okay. Hey, thanks. Bye.
Wait, that was the universe calling you?
That was the universe calling.
What, do they have a flip and flip that guy?
They do have a flip and flip that guy. They said, Washington football team, how dare you cut Alex Smith? The universe says that you don't cut that because everybody loves that guy. I just lost everything I have. If you don't just cut Alex Smith, you know what?
Flipping, dadgummit!
Oh, you're going to have to take over. I got to get my headphones.
That move really did surprise me. The fact that they're talking about cutting Alex Smith because I believe right now he's the best quarterback they have.
Yeah, I mean that.
And they're not.
Is it Henicky? I like Henicky, but come on, he barely shone out in a freaking playoff game. Alex Smith would have won that. I don't even know what you're talking about, Henicky.
I think
you're not the future.
I think Alex Smith would have won that game,
and that's why Ron Rivera is so low on my coaches list. But no, I just it makes no sense. Alex Smith is 11-3 as a starter for Washington. I know he was injured for a long period of time. But then he comes back, and he's never lost to an NFC East team. You guys are undefeated in the NFC East with Alex Smith at the helm. How do you do that? How do you cut him? The most beloved man in all of sports.
That I'm going to double check, but I don't think they have an early draft pick either because they went to the playoffs.
Yeah. I mean, I hope this, if anything from our show ever goes viral, I hope it's the love we have of Alex Smith. And I hope that goes viral and Alex Smith comes on here. He announces on Up the Gut his next team. And you know what? I don't even be mad if it's the Patriots. Like, he's going to be good and he's going to do a good job for the Patriots. But if that's the case, I will even not be mad. I will root for the Patriots.
Really?
Except against the Bills. Because that's how much I love Alex Smith.
Yeah. But no, the Washington football team is picking 19th. So I don't know if they're just hoping a quarterback is going to fall that far in the draft that they can depend on or what.
I think they're going to ride the Henicky wave off that playoff game. They're going to do horrible next year. They'll have a good draft pick next year. That's when they get their quarterback. Washington football team, that's not how you play football. You roll with Alex Smith because everybody loves Alex Smith. It's a very long video. We won't do that to you.
All
right, everybody.
We said the whole universe. Are you on board with this, Chad?
Yep.
100%. So, J.J. Watt in a very loving way. Houston Texans management
with
from
all
the deepest depths of our heart into Deshaun Watson and the universe for the Washington football team, man.
Flipping, dadgummit!
Guys, that's officially the show.
Yeah.
Any closing remarks before we get out of here?
I want everybody to start thinking about building this fantasy football league of ours. Let's start getting the teams. Let's start marking them down. I know us three are in. I'm sure we can get Nathan Eddy to join in on that, maybe.
Robert Holler already said he's in.
Robert's in. Get Heather. Maybe get those guys.
Man, no girls allowed.
Maybe they can draft that Texans running back.
Oh, you mean the only running back to be on all 32 teams simultaneously, and Derrick Henry? I'm sure we can get the taste bud guys in on this one too. So, but yeah, well.
By the way,
I don't know if we'll do a keeper league. I think we'll just do a normal every year fantasy football, just to mix it up because we're gonna have people. But I don't know what our max teams are. But we'll get some teams in there, and I don't know. Maybe Ehlers will set that one up with his Dr. Pepper.
I can see what I can do.
So before we go, just the same things we always ask you to like, subscribe, comment. If you're watching this that's already archived, comment on it, enable your notifications. I just told him whenever we went live, I just love seeing it pop up on my phone. Yeah. Up the Guts live.
Definitely comment.
Hey,
yeah, what we can do to make the show better.
Hey, last question, and it's not football oriented, but I had a special request from a good friend of mine. He hit a golf ball. I haven't clarified how far out he was, but the ball stuck right at the cup. But they had one of those like flags, the sponge things holds it right there. And so he said it was a hole in one. When he pulled the ball out, there was a little bit of green between the divot and the hole. And I said it wasn't. But it brought up a question because a buddy of mine just bowled a 300 this week up in Palmyra. And so he said, what's the bigger accomplishment, bowling a 300 or a hole in one?
Hole in one.
Bowling a 300.
There you go.
Okay.
Differences. So, maybe we could get that as a trivia question.
Son of a gun. Yeah, we'll have to talk on that. I want to thank you guys for being on the show. I want to thank everybody that watched and liked and subscribed. Tell your friends. I want to thank especially Ryan Fitzpatrick for being the official quarterback of Up the Gut.
We interrupt this broadcast to bring you the official quarterback of Up the Gut.
That's how I know that I'm unstoppable. I don't care what they all say. That's right. I'ma do this thing my way. Let's go. Been grinding hard on it all day. It's okay. We work hard, then we all play. Yeah. I'm addicted to the grind, man. That's right. So I refuse to waste time, man.
And that has to be one of the most badass plays ever in football, to be face mask that bad and still complete the pass.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, Ehlers, do it.
Oh, yeah. Our last request, the most important request. Tell your moms about us.